but like I said, I want to I want to hear what Jordan and Guy you have to say, because you guys, like, you have an artistry about this, and I want you to speak. I want you to speak it. I want. To, I wish I had magic here. I just want to draw it forth. I want to know if what I said sings to your phenomenology, but obviously there's a skillfulness that I want to understand better as well.
Huh.
So now I made silence.
Well, it's a tricky business.
Yeah,
that was not trivial. There's a whole bunch of different things that are going on there, and the feeling of trying to bring the tease and tune the threads of Indra's net into something to actually play music and harmony is not trivial. And I think that's what is the inquiry, is that feeling of being able to actually sense within yourself what was the word that you used? Well, sense within yourself the cerebellum doing its busy work, trying to actually bring all of these diverse capacities for perceiving and expressing into their sensitivity and listening to what is being, what's coming, and noticing, like, oh, where's that landing in me, and how do I actually shift that landing in me, and how do I bring these complex pieces of me into alignment with each other so that the resonance is getting louder and louder. I'm listening, and then the signal pops very clear, and then the instrument of me can then actually bring it back out with some clarity and fidelity is the thing that I was hearing. And then I was actually endeavoring to then do it so that I could try to do it in the process of actually perceiving and expressing it, which was not easy.
Well, you just did it.
Yeah.
But there's a thing you do, Jordan, that, and I guess if you allow me to speak metaphorically, you'll pause and then you'll do something, the only thing that I find analogous to my own experience is something like a mindfulness or meditation. But you pause, and I sense I'm going to use my metaphors. I sense like you're tasting your mind, and you're seeing what it is portending. Do you know the kind of events I'm talking? You'll go.
Yeah.
And I'm not mocking you. You understand that?
I understand completely.
And then you're trying to sense the portents of your mind and like the omens or you know what I mean? Like I want to. What is happening in those moments for you?
It's not easy to explain.
Yeah. No. And I'm not.
Things are happening though. Lots and lots of things. Many things. And what I notice is that as I get older, I have more ability to be in relationship with the things that are happening. I'll give an example.
Yes, please.
I can't remember exactly when this happened, but it was some period of time ago, maybe on the order of about 12 minutes ago. And I think it was something, well, actually, I'll do an earlier one. So much earlier in the conversation, Chris, very early, mentioned this experience of the deepening of the ground beneath you. Right? And remember, he's in the process of expressing something that is very, very complex. And that's the language that he used. Those are the words that fell out of his mouth into our ears. And when he said that, I actually felt the ground beneath me drop. Like not a little bit, a lot. I actually felt a sense of what's that called? Dizziness, like a sense of like my stomach actually dropped. Whoa, vertigo? Yeah, I actually felt vertigo, and I felt the vertigo landed, and it landed so hard on my body. I go, whoa, my God, there's something about that poetry that was extremely powerful. And then later, something the guy said, I actually felt, and I thought this was really interesting. I felt a sensation that I learned about in the context of actually, what are they called? Sanskaras, I think is the word for it, which I actually felt physically something in my chest coming up my throat and actually wanted to be breathed out of my mouth. It's some part of me that was almost like a piece of me that had, like literally a piece of me was liberated and healed in the experience of that. And so the physical sensation of it is a physical sensation. As I had that physical sensation in periods of my life, and it was named Samskara, and I also was able to have that experience happen enough times to be in relationship with the first person, i.e. I'm not downloading a notion of what it is, but just living it and noticing it. Then the meaningfulness of it when guy says something, I'm like, whoa, I've had this before. That's interesting. Becomes a thing that's part of the sensorium, the part of the experience that I'm having. And then, as you say, this like part of me then begins to notice that, but it notices it in the context of all the other things that are happening and have ever happened in my entire experience and all the conversations I've ever had. And there's something that happens where there's like a point where there's a way to kind of allow that to settle and settle and settle and listen, as you say, Guy, like listening with this broader, this extended eardrum, this broad like, tympanum that's diaphanous and multidimensional, listening out. And then something, it's so hard to explain. It's like a
this is good though, keep going.
It's like a like I almost want to do a Fourier transform on some sort of super high dimensional signal that's happening both temporally, like these silences and rhythms, and also happening in real time with multiple different embedded overtones. And there's something about a wholeness to it, though. That's the thing. It's quite diverse. It's lots and lots of different things, but there's a wholeness to it. It's like a lot of different things that have a wholeness, and that wholeness pops. And then I have some experience, like a sensing of a wholeness that is multimodal and not obviously connected, but you can listen and notice like the eyes and the ears and the sound and the taste and all the experiences all sort of like, that's it, that's the thing. And they're all connected. So
that was great. That was great. I'm glad we recorded that. That was great. Thank you, Jordan. That was fantastic.
There's a way where I really appreciated you walking inside of that. And as you were describing what you were describing, you were simultaneously doing the thing that you were describing in describing it. There's something about that fractal autopoietic thing that gathers. And I'm the question I can hear like is, it seems that what calls the particular things, the particular wholes into view that to describe as relevant and not the corner on the wall. There's something it feels like you are always a little bit behind that thing that is, as you're describing it, you're also trying to describe why that's relevant as you're finding it out. There's that quality of it. But I'm wondering about, and this I think really is pertinent to the whole conversation, which is what's beckoning you to even start doing that? Like, what is the thing that I'm imagining it's something transcendent. I'm getting the sense of like the Heideggerian sense of ecstatic time or how the future calls. And I get this sense, if I were to put it like this, it's almost like the future is calling forth something that my current representations can't hold or make go away. Therefore, I'm irritated in such a way that I start to that.
Nice.